Picture this. It's a Saturday, sun's shining, birds are chirping, and I'm just trying to soak up some quiet on my ranch. Then I notice I'm trapped, literally boxed in. There's a line of fancy, glossy city cars parked bumper to bumper across the front of my property. My gate's blocked, my driveway's vanished, and my escape route? Non-existent. And here's the kicker. These aren't lost tourists who missed a turn off the highway. No, these are Lisa's wedding guests. Lisa, my HOA president and full-time control freak, decided to throw a massive wedding extravaganza right next door. Tents, speakers, a champagne tower, and zero respect for basic courtesy. I stroll up to a group of guests, still in my boots and plaid shirt, and say, "Hey, folks, mind moving your cars? I need to get out." One guy in a tuxedo that's way too tight for his attitude smirks and goes, "It's just a few hours, can't you chill?" That's when I realized I wasn't dealing with regular wedding guests. It was up against a mob of entitlement. But they were about to meet the real MVPs of my ranch, Duke and Bandit. Now, if you've never tangled with an HOA dictator like Lisa, let me set the scene. She's the type who once fined me $75 because my barn door was too weathered for a Texas ranch. She's got this constant frown, like someone's always breathing too loud near her. Today, she's strutting around in a white blazer and slacks, barking orders into a headset like she's running a Hollywood set, not her daughter's backyard wedding. So, I walk over, calm and neighborly, and say, "Lisa, your guests are blocking my driveway. I've got stuff to do. Can we clear it?" She doesn't even look up, just swats me away like I'm a pesky fly and says, "It's a wedding, not a hayride, Tom. Can't you relax for one day?" Relax? Lady, I'm not asking for a yoga retreat. I just want to leave my own land without playing bumper cars with luxury SUVs. That's when I knew this wasn't a mistake. It was a power move. And I had just the team to handle it. Fuming, I head back to the house. I could have called a tow truck or the sheriff, but that'd take hours, and Lisa would probably turn it into an HOA crisis about aggressive neighbors. So, I try one last time. I grab a marker and a big piece of cardboard from the barn, scribble "private property, do not block driveway" in huge letters, and prop it up next to a BMW that looks like it'd faint if it touched dirt. 5 minutes later, I glance out the window and see Lisa's cousin or something laughing as he flips the sign over and draws a winking emoji on the back. That's when it hit Methy didn't just ignore me. They thought I was a joke. They had no clue that two of the smartest, mud-loving critters in Texas were about to crash their party. Duke, Bandit, let's roll. Let me tell you about Duke and Bandit. These aren't your average dogs. They're Australian shepherds with master's degrees in chaos and a side hustle in mud wrestling. I've trained them since they were pups herding cattle, opening gates, even grabbing beers from the fridge, no lie. They're sharp, fast, and just wild enough to make a grown man rethink his life choices. I give them the look, the one that says, "Time to work, but keep it legal." They perk up like it's go time. I open the side gate, and they saunter out, tails wagging like they're headed to a picnic. The wedding's in full swing, blasting some cheesy love ballad, and nobody notices the two furry torpedoes slipping through the crowd. Ranch dogs don't just herd livestock, they read vibes, and mine were screaming, "Move this rude crowd to the mud pit." At first, the guests think it's adorable. "Oh, look, doggies." One woman squeals, clutching her mimosa like it's a lifeline. Bandit trots up to a guy in neon suspenders, sniffs his shoe, and gives him a look like, "You smell like bad choices and cheap cologne." Duke stays low, scanning the crowd like he's picking his mark. Then I give the sign a la sharp whistle and a point toward the far paddock where I'd been running mud drills with the cows all week. It's a sloppy, deep mess, the kind of mud that doesn't just stain, it claims souls. Suddenly, Bandit bolts toward the gift table, barking like he spotted a coyote under the cheese platter. People jump, a chair topples, and a bridesmaid shrieks. Duke swings wide, circling the group near the dance floor like he's done it a million times because he has. The guests start moving, first confused, then annoyed, then panicked. Lisa's too busy yelling at the florist to notice the stampede brewing behind her. It's like a slow-motion cattle drive, but instead of steers, it's a herd of overdressed city folks clutching hors d'oeuvres and screaming. Bandit zigs through the crowd, barking just enough to keep them moving, while Duke flanks them like a furry bouncer with no patience. And where are they headed? Straight for the mud pit. I trained those dogs to funnel livestock into that exact corner of the ranch. Guess what? Tipsy wedding guests move just like sheep when they're spooked. A few try to double back too late. Duke cuts them off with a growl that says, "Keep it moving, pal." One guy tries to negotiate with Bandit, saying, "Hey, buddy, sit," right before tripping over a chair and face-planting into the muck. That's when the chaos really kicks off. Heels sink, dresses rip, and the pristine white aisle runner looks like a war zone. Lisa turns around just in time to see her aunt get splashed head to toe in mud. She lets out this piercing, nasal screech, like a kettle with an ego. "Get those beasts out of here," she shrieks, storming toward the mess in her white blazer like she's going to fix it with sheer willpower. Two late bandits already chased a groomsman into the pit. The guy tries to vault the fence, slips, and does the splits in a puddle that smells like regret and wet grass. Meanwhile, Duke's got three bridesmaids cornered near the edge. One throws her bouquet like it's a smoke bomb doing work. She slips, grabs her friend, and they both go down in a slow, shrieking tumble. It's glorious. The DJ cuts the music, and all you hear is barking, screaming, and the sweet squelch of designer shoes being swallowed by mud. Lisa charges me, red-faced and frothing like a latte gone wrong. "Call them off, you lunatic." I smile, tip my hat, and say, "Can't. They're unionized." She looks like she's about to explode, flailing her arms and ranting about lawsuits while someone's uncle crawls out of the mud like a zombie from a bad western. I just stand there, arms crossed, watching it unfold like it's a live soap opera. "Do something," Lisa screeches. I nod slowly and say, "Sure." Then I whistle the stop command. Duke and Bandit freeze, sit, and look at me like, "Job done, boss." That's when the guests realize these dogs weren't rabid, they were on a mission. You can see the gears turning in Lisa's head, confusion, horror, then that smug fury bubbling back up as she realizes she can't spin this. But she tries. "You'll regret this," she hisses. I grin and say, "Great, maybe one of your friends can teach your guests how to walk in loafers through cow mud." Lisa storms off, her heels stabbing the grass like she's mad at the earth itself. I figure that's the end of it. She'll sulk, maybe cancel the reception. But no, I spot her beelining for the valet table, yanking out her phone like she's calling in an airstrike. A few minutes later, a beat-up SUV rolls up, and two guys definitely not guests climb out. They scan the crowd, spot me, and start whispering with Lisa in the corner. She's pointing at me like she's in a courtroom drama, and I'm thinking, here we go. Lisa's called in the cavalry, probably some cousins or local tough guys she thinks can scare the ranch guy. Hilarious, because the last person who tried to intimidate me left with chicken droppings on his Jeep. Long story. They start swaggering my way, all puffed up like they're about to make a point. That's when I stroll over to the barn and unlatch the second gate. I wasn't planning to escalate, but if Lisa wants to play dirty, I'm game. I give a low whistle, and out come 8 goats and 3 donkeys, trotting like they've got VIP passes to the chaos. These aren't just any animals. The goats named after music legends Patsy, Loretta, and Willie, who hates anything sparkly, are trouble. The donkeys? Big, loud, and nosy, like bouncers at a dive bar. Lisa's backup freezes mid-step when they see the herd coming. One of them mutters, "Are you serious?" "Dead serious," I say. "Just goats." The herd makes a beeline for the buffet. Guests scream as Loretta leaps onto a table and starts munching a floral arrangement like it's a personal challenge. One donkey lets out a bray so loud it rattles the champagne tower. Lisa spins around, eyes wild, like she's watching her HOA kingdom collapse in real time, and I haven't said a word. It's beautiful chaos. Patsy's shredding napkins like they're her last meal. Willie locks eyes with a bridesmaid in a glittery dress and charges, headbutting her into a decorative fountain. The donkeys knock over gift bags, and one of them might have left a gift in the punch bowl. Guests are slipping, screaming, running like a raccoon got loose in a hot tub. Lisa's spinning in circles, arms out, yelling, "Stop. Stop." But nobody's listening, not the guests, not the animals, not the universe. Her perfect wedding setup looks like a petting zoo exploded in a department store. Then comes the moment that breaks her. Loretta climbs onto the DJ's table, lets out a dramatic bleat, and stomps a hoof on the soundboard cue feedback, screams, "Silence." Lisa freezes, mud splattered, flowers tangled in her hair, staring at me like I'm the devil himself. I tip my hat and say, "Still think I should have just chilled?" The wedding's done. The champagne tower's toast, the cake's been goat nibbled and donkey kicked, and the bride sobbing in the mud while someone Googles how to clean satin with barnyard stains. Lisa stands there, silent, in her ruined blazer, like she's seen the ghost of her HOA reign. Guests are bailing, trudging barefoot to their cars, dresses hiked up, carrying shoes like they escaped a hurricane. One guy turns to me and says, "Honestly, best wedding ever." I swear I saw a bandit grin. Lisa mutters, "You'll pay for this." I shrug. Already did. It's called property taxes. As I turn to head back to the house, I hear a shout, not Lisa, but her daughter, the bride, in a mud-soaked gown that probably cost more than my tractor. "Mom, you ruined everything," she screams. "I told you not to have it here. I told you not to mess with the neighbors, but no, you had to make it your HOA power trip." Lisa tries to respond, but all that comes out is a strangled croak, like a frog choking on a rulebook. The groom stands there, holding what's left of the cake, looking like he's questioning his entire life. I lean on the fence post, Duke and Bandit at my feet, enjoying the front row view of a family meltdown. Guests are filming, phones out, talks about to get a saga called Lisa's Wedding Disaster. Then Lisa does the most Lisa thing possible. She points at me and yells, "He did this. He trained those animals to attack. Lady, you finally got something right." I look her in the eye and say, "Lisa, I didn't train them to attack. I trained them to work. You just gave them a job." That shuts her up fast. Then, like the universe has a sense of humor, one of her own guests, muddy, barefoot, clutching a soggy gift bag, yells, "Honestly, Lisa, you had this coming." The crowd shifts, a few nod, someone claps. Lisa's face collapses like a bad souffle. The bride shoots me a look, part apology, part gratitude, before turning back to her mom and saying, "You're not coming on the honeymoon." Ouch. I give Bandit a scratch behind the ears and say, "Well, pal, think we just solved the HOA issue." By Monday, the whole neighborhood's buzzing. The HOA group chat's on fire, and someone leaked a video of Loretta the goat posing on the DJ booth like she's accepting an Oscar. Lisa tried to spin it, claiming it was an unprovoked attack during a sacred event, but the board wasn't buying it. Trespassing guests, property damage, and a mud pit stampede don't exactly scream HOA authority. Lisa got suspended indefinitely. The next HOA meeting? Held at my place, potluck style, dogs welcome. Duke and Bandit were hailed as heroes, sporting little sheriff badges made from bottle caps. I got my driveway back, my peace restored, and a story that still scores me free drinks at the local bar. So, next time someone blocks you in, skip the tow truck, call the goats.